House to Home, brought to you by Remax Diamond Realty.
Liz and Gina are here, and you may recall last week we talked about staging, getting your house ready when you are ready to sell and make some money. Now, ladies, I'm sure you would agree, you got to sell the sizzle as well as the steak, and it's not just what the house looks like on the inside. You also have to dress up the outside, because that's what everybody else sees.
Yes, that's correct.
How do we do this? And you mentioned something, Liz, I thought was very poignant last week. You said curb appeal. I've never actually heard it.
Yes, so if we put a home on the market, you want it to show its best. So you want to draw people in. We've had showings where we'd be driving through the neighborhood with a buyer or a renter, and we'd go by the house we're supposed to show, and they said, nope, keep going. We don't want to go in. So we usually prep our owners. Curb appeal does make a difference. A coat of paint on the house makes a difference. Mowing the yard, sometimes a little plants here and there make a difference.
Making sure those
little
presents
things
that dogs leave,
yes.
or you take care of that.
No, not
yeah,
those.
no gifts.
No gifts. No gifts.
Exactly.
Seriously,
those are very unsightly.
they should pick up after themselves if they do have a pet, rather than leaving the bombs in the yard. The worst thing you could do is be doing a showing and they step on something. You definitely don't want that. Another thing that people do to dress up is sometimes they would put up a fence, whether it be chain link or concrete. But if you're selling a home, these sometimes don't, like landscaping, sometimes attribute to some value, but it's up to an appraiser to determine that value. So they have their own way of assessing what would be considered giving the home value when you're selling it. But I think the most critical part that Gina and I want to bring up is make the home look appealing to draw people in, to see the rest of the home.
Well, Gina, as long as I've known you, you've been a really good person who can read people and can gauge like reaction and everything like that. When you're actually showing off a piece of property and there's like little subtle things like, like let's, I mean, a paint job is a major thing, mowing the lawn, that's obvious and everything, but what are some little smaller things that people can do that dramatically influences, a potential buyer's decision whether to stay or go?
You're right about that, because it's about saving money as well, right? So the little things you can do is first, cut the grass and pull the weeds, trim your plants. If you've got coconut trees in front and they're already dying from the rhino beetle, cut them down. Those are little things that if you don't want to hire people to do, you can do yourself. Or you can get somebody in your family to do it, help you out, right? So that would be one, is trim it down.
That's what godchildren are for.
Or kids, yeah. Do that. And we mentioned last week, water blast the house. You can rent that now at Home Depot. You can rent it at East West Rental. You can call a friend that has one. Or just, if you can't do that, then spray the walls down with something that will get rid of it.
What was that product that we saw yesterday?
I think it was
Wet
and Forget It.
Wet
also.
and Forget It.
Okay.
It's supposed to be on the market. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that they sell it at Sherwin-Williams, and that product, you spray it. In fact, this came up because Curb Appeal, we were talking to a customer who's selling his home, and he mentioned, this is the product that I used. I put it on the walkways, on the walls, on the facade of the house, so because I have a lot of algae growing, and this is going to get rid of it over time without much, elbow grease putting into it. And he didn't have time to water blast because he travels a lot.
He just sprayed it and then just left it.
Yeah.
Okay, can I just ask, I was just thinking one thing as you were just saying that, because here at KUM, we produce a lot of ads, and we try and make maximum value for our clients. And it's the little things, like the little semiotics, and we really take a lot of time and analyze those. As far as the carport or the garage, do you find it better if someone's trying to show off a house to have a car in the garage and make it look more homely, or actually leave it out there and maybe tell someone, can you imagine your car in there? And if they maybe have the garage bare, then you can say, hey, you can see the sink, you can see the fixtures, you can see where the door leads.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I actually had an experience where I was selling a home and the garage, a little bit of everything, but the garage was so jam-packed. You couldn't even get a car in there.
Yeah.
And that is part of Curb Appeal. If you have a carport and it's full of things, I don't care what it is,
Clean it up.
if you know you're in the market to sell, you're going to move out of there sooner rather than later. Pack it up.
Yeah.
Get rid of it, have a rummage sale, do what you need to do, empty it out, because you're going to have to think about that you know, in the process of moving. So think about it before customers come and look. And this goes for people that are getting ready to rent. So if you're not going to keep it or move it to your new place, sell it, give it away, call Salvation Army, dump it.
Okay.
Clean it up. I
There you
mean, if it needs a little painting, especially deck paint really goes a long way.
Okay.
I mean, just making that carport appealing for people to want to drive in their vehicle and live in that home or to buy that particular home. Cleaning it up and, wet it and leave it. I mean, that's one way. The other thing is put some deck paint to just make it more, it gives it cleaner lines.
All right. Well,
Yeah. Makes it more appealing.
Long story short, maybe, you know, what looks good to you necessarily won't look good to somebody else. So make sure your house is that much more appealing so you can sell it. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Listen to what they say. I hope you were taking notes because this is all about 2018. This is the year of making money. Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. Like, we want to help you get paid. All right. We're back after this.